And for those in Canova, Leor area and also Edenhope Apsley, unfortunately no football this weekend with the competition deciding not to play on the June long weekend after initially saying it would. Then information came out that only 150 people would be allowed at games, and Horsham District decided not to try and take that on, albeit further down the track at Nil they are playing, and they will be playing without crowds. Just the players will be playing in that competition. I got Peter Weir this morning to have a look at a review of reserves, 17s and 14s, and taking into effect a little bit too for those that are listening to our broadcasts across 100.3 in South Australia from Edenhope Apsley and Canova Leor areas. And this is what Peter and I discussed about the reserve grade. Heading to a review of the reserves competition, and this has been a very interesting season. Your blokes having trouble the scorers too often here, but from a ladder point of view, they're certainly down near the bottom. How have you seen the reserves in terms of the top sides? Narrajua Quantong are very, very good in their seniors, but now in the reserves too. And I guess the same suspects, the Keys are up there, the Swifts are up there, but probably in fifth place, Canova Leor is a very, very good performance from them.
Yeah, I think going with the goal kickers team, Shane Oakley booting a lot of goals for Narrajua Quantong, and Big Rock Bettison kicking a lot of goals for Kalkee. So that shows those big targets in the twos, and someone who can kick a score is very important in reserves footy. So those two boys will be leading the goal kicking, I'd imagine, and leading their clubs at the top of the table.
Certainly are the two at the top, and Ben Hawker from the Cougars in fifth place on the ladder. He's kicked 25 goals, but as you're right, Shane Oakley out the front there with 43, showing everyone what he can do. All right, let's head now to the boys in the 17 age group, and on top of this ladder we've got the Natimak side. Now they're very good out at the sheep paddock, and their percentages would probably scare everybody. We're at 761% for the sheep paddockers in the 17s. I mean, gee, they must have a side coming through that are going to be very formidable in the future.
Yeah, that's great signs for them. I guess being close to Horsham too, they've got a bit more of a pool of a junior team, but it sounds like they're pretty ruthless unless the person doing the scoreboard's putting an extra zero on every week. But that sounds like they've got a very, very intimidating under-17 team there that hits the scoreboard pretty hard.
And what about the Japan Rainbow boys? They hit the scoreboard hard enough. They're 3-3. They're in that top six. They're balancing on the edge of it with Laharam in seventh place on equal premiership points. So this is a very good season for your side to maybe play finals football. Has the 17s ever played finals?
No, they definitely haven't, not in their time in the Horsham District League. So that'll be an aim in the second half of the season now for Steve Leach and the boys.
Oh, fantastic stuff from them to get that far along. Well done, Leach, in getting them along and doing such a good job there in this season. And from the Storm, Murphy Leach has been one of the guys that's hit the scoreboard a few times and up in the goal kicking there over the season. But the best goal kicker is Frederick Frew out of Pimpernaya with 23 goals from his teammate Jai Brown, who is on 18. Heading now into the 14-year-old competition. Your lads, I think the biggest thing about this season's not where you are on the premiership table here, but the fact that the lads have had their first ever win. It's been fantastic for your club.
Yeah, it definitely was a great weekend that weekend, and I saw in the paper a few of the boys have commented in an article they're just so keen to get back out on the field again since they are having a much improved year and just to keep working on their skills. And Dusty Eckerman's kicked a couple of bags of goals up forward, and Caleb Tregenza likes to kick a goal, so there's some good goal kickers down there in the under-14 grade as well for the Storm, man.
Certainly is. Edenhope Apsley have led the way, though, here. They are doing magnificently, along with Rapagna. Both of them on top with 6 wins from 6 games. Rapagna's percentage is at 600 and Edenhope Apsley at 444, which is really good scoring. It's Laharam the Swifts and then Canova Leor. Good effort from them. A new side into the competition in 5th place in this grade. They're at 16 or 4-2, and Harra-Balmoral also are making up that 6th place with the 3 wins and 3 losses. Weary, it's going to be interesting to see next week what happens with Horsham District. Clearly the games are scheduled to go ahead, and one would expect that they would go ahead. Looking just at who's playing who, your side ends up getting the Swifts at home at Japarrit. I tell you what, there'll be at least 150 people there, Weary.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think we'll take note of what happens in the Wimmera League. They've been thrown a bit of a curveball with these restrictions, but there's a big possibility, even if it's only a cap of maybe 250 or more than what it is this weekend, there are going to be things we're going to have to put in place. So all eyes will be on the Wimmera League, and I'm sure the different committees around the place will do their best to make things work this weekend, and the Horsham District League will look to what works and what doesn't work to implement for our games next weekend. But I'm sure as country clubs do, they'll come up with some good ideas, and footy will go ahead, which will be the main thing, and we'll be all the better for it next weekend.
We certainly will be when we'll have some games to talk about for Edna Apsley and Kanaivali or Cougars, and we look forward to doing that after a 4-week break from local competition.